Hey, welcome to the Tangle Puppets. I just want to tell everybody that I'm going to start getting some more readings out there. I just kind of took a break. Sometimes the messages just seem so the same energy. So I wanted to give it a little bit of healing time to get some new energies in here and a new topic. So today I've got a little idea of to do some things different. So we're going to see how that works out. Okay, so this message is for all of my spiritual warriors, my spiritual gangsters, the ones that are stuck out in the cold and left out alone, looking for their own sovereignty at the end of the day, trying to figure out who, where, and why. I know I came, I remember, who am I again? That's the energy I'm picking up. Like, this person has ideas of who they think they've been or memories they see or a facade about who they want to be, but who are they? Who have they been? Who are you? Who have you been? What kind of gem are you? What kind of collective web have you fell into, or were you the weaver of the web, or maybe you're the beaver? With a little tongue tied, I thought Mercury retrograde was over, but apparently it's just now taking effect. Beings during the retrograde, it didn't do that. But on the bottom, this is just a reflection of this person's energy. So, anyways, angels and ancestors, today I want to go a different route with this. I would like to get messages for the collective, and we're going to do things a little different. So I would like you to tell me who you would like to discuss. What is the most prominent, most important message that you would have me put out today that would be the most helpful for whoever needs to hear it? Give me the details so they'll know it's their message. Angels and ancestors, guides of this person, I ask that my higher self send down, and then we get this message clearly, as above, so below. So this is somebody who likes to spit dark things at people in word form, or somebody's been doing that to this person. Trying to spit dark poetry is what I'm hearing. This may have something to do with the person who tried to, or who did make a voodoo doll of the earth angel and then tried to chop their wings off and got hit with a left and a right wing, yeah, with the demon card popping out. An observer, and jester, yeah, exactly what I said. This is somebody who's been flying high, playing games with demons, trying to play games and set people up basically for these demons to observe and then get them, while they just sit back on the sidelines being that jester, laughing about the situation. But yeah, that's not about to keep happening. That falcon got that hawk eye, it's seen it all. So I'm picking up somebody who, a sage, an energy of a sage. So that's what they would like to talk about today. Tell me one more thing about this sage. Okay. So everybody thought that this sage was once upon a time a dreamer. That's the energy that I'm picking up on. So, in most people's eyes, this person probably represents somebody who had their head stuck in the cloud and was always a dreamer, but then all of a sudden they evolved to this sage, okay? Yeah, people thought that they took a lot of risk, especially in the heart chakra with their heart, matters of the heart. They were always allowing other people to hold up their foundation while they stood on one toe on top of it, hoping that it didn't fall and that they could make it across, basically, like an old metal bridge that's not stable. So they had to be the strategist in order to survive with the star climber. This person is not of this world. They are in this world and they actually climb down from the stars, but then had to ascend back up to the knowledge that they are here to acquire so that they can carry on with their warrior ways of being the deliverer of this great union that they have with the divine, with their soul contract, that entitles them helping evolve humanity. And that's why they're the warrior. But this person went through many spirals and spirals, step by step, slowly but surely. And their shadow side, they were the driver to it. Nobody drove that bus over them. They did themselves. And then they went back and cleaned themselves up and fixed every detail, every light bulb that came on and shined more darkness within their soul. They went in and cleaned themselves up to the point that they didn't even recognize their own reflection anymore because they felt like this. Now they're like, who is that person? Who was that? I didn't even recognize myself. Like, who are you? Why are you wearing these clothes? Why are you so heinous? What is your problem? Where have I been? It's kind of like being locked in the sand cave in Aladdin, when they go to get the diamond in the rough and Aladdin and them go down there and they find a lamp and they grab the lamp and it's like, who's touched the diamond in the rough, after they touched that beautiful gem in there, and it's trying to close with them in there. Well, I feel like this person might have been just like closed inside the sand inside their own head, and most people would have rather than be swallowed by the sand cave, I'm hearing, but instead they went in hermit mode basically, and just like Aladdin, this guy, this sage has even got his own monkey right here, but he's been doing a lot of meditation, and a lot of ancient wisdom has been coming through this sage. It could be a female or a male, but this is a survivor. They really had to play Chinese checkers in order to win this game with a little bit of chess. I mean, you've got them on top of it, so it was a long, drawn out thing. Both them games take a long time. This is something, the initials LK or KL could be important. Something about a seal at a bank, something about dinero or money. This person could be from a different culture. This person could just be a strategist, a white coat chemist, a bio laboratory type of person. So they're very elevated. They're able to work out many problems. So if I'm not paying attention to you up here, I'm looking at my cards I have down here. I'm studying on the archetype of this person while I explain them to you. So basically, this is a person that is very high elevated. They are a strategist. They have lots of knowledge and wisdom. But I wanted to do one thing that I don't normally do, and my book must want me to do it too because it popped up and right to the place of the sage. The sage sits quietly by your side, reminding you to stay centered. So he's very grounded and centered. He's asking you to do the same right now. So as we go through this, take a deep breath in and hold it for a few moments, and then just breathe out. Do that about 3 or 4 times while I read this to you. Hold it in until you can feel yourself needing to release, and then do it again. Do this, like I said, up to 4 times, and as you're releasing, if there's things you need to release, let it go. As we have the great sage sitting beside us to help with these things. So, as the sage is sitting beside us in his wisdom, he has come down through the ages, and his counsel has his balance ways that are reliable now sitting beside us to help us along our journey with no material or no agenda, just to sit beside us at the moment. And unlike those priests who cloak themselves, he is very vulnerable. He's not cloaked in much of anything. He is not of wealth. He is of wisdom. He requires no supplications, nor does he demand an adherence to a table of condiments. Or he sees no reason to regret or blame. So this is a man who is completely balanced. He understands that right and wrong doesn't even exist, and he doesn't adhere to that either, nor would he cohere to such a thing. He would have no part in anything that has to do with reason, to regret, to blame. He has no part in any of that. He is to sit here in his wisdom and be balanced and reliable for you as you release the things that are weighing heavy upon your heart chakra and your soul perplexed at this moment. There's something going on with this person's right arm around their finger and as well as their knees. Human kindness needs no stick or carrot. It simply requires us to understand that we are bound together in a single unity. He is I am not very good at saying these names, but we're going to try. He is Solomon, and he is Sadahara, imploring us to ground ourselves and listen to the core's steady pulse. He is the soul of intelligence and insight, teaching us to trust our deeper intuitive sense and make the right choices based on grounded consciousness. He reminds us that it's okay to pause when faced with a choice, because why would you rush right through it? You need to think about the choice. You need to weigh out your options and then make your decision. When you do not have enough information to act at that moment, not knowing could be the thing of your demise. It's also the place of pose that shows maturity, not weakness. Not knowing is okay. It's okay to ask questions. Wisdom is hard fought for. The sage did not come to his elevated awareness by accident. No, he had to work for it. His path was long and lonely, and his journey required great discipline. By the time it gifted him powers of great compassion and empathy, he had aged many, many moons before he was granted his powers. After he had to transform with that Six of Swords, he's going through a phase. He changed like a butterfly, the butterfly effect, from a caterpillar to a butterfly that ripples out, showing great compassion through empathy, through all sides of perception. He needs little and lives in meditative state simply. Like I said, he's there to sit and bring balance upon us. He needs very little, just space. So hold space for the sage as he is there to hold space for you as you release what needs to be released. As we go through this, release that darker shadow side of you that you've been holding in for so long. That one that keeps you teetering in life. That keeps you feeling like you're always climbing to the stars but never actually getting to sit and observe and enjoy yourself. Always feeling like the warrior and never surviving, like the battle's never over, like the game of chess ended and Chinese checkers has already started before you can even have a drink of water. Because remember, on this journey, you need very little except for meditative state. So in these games of chess and checkers, there's very little just strategy. So don't neglect yourself from what you need to nurture the energies to move them through your body as they sit stagnant in there, because water is fluidity. It helps remove every energy that is backed up inside of you. When you have an ache and pain, that's energy backed up in there, whether it's emotion or some action. It's something that is stuck inside of there. Water helps transmute this energy. So today, get your water out, add a little lemon in it, and put your intention in it. Today, with this water, I am releasing what is left stagnant in me that I cannot release with the element of wind and the power of my solar perplex. And as you put your intent in there, as above, so below, and drink your water, sit in the sun, let it revive your body, your soul, and your mind, to where that you can become this sage, balanced in the feminine and the masculine aspect of yourself. That way that you no longer have to second guess yourself, that you can go back to that child, that inner child that was once wounded, that doesn't know how to trust the adult it's become, and learn to trust each other and show that inner child that, hey, I got you as you got me. Don't forget to make me laugh, and I won't forget to keep you safe and sound. It's a partnership. It's of joy and happiness. Life is not supposed to be, why so serious. You can actually enjoy your life while living your lessons and being along your soul path. You will always make it to where you're supposed to end up, because you're on your correct time. You're exactly right where you're supposed to be at that very moment, because you're right where the divine puts you, and your soul's contract says, hey, at this moment I'm going to be doing this. So never fear your decisions or your timeline. And if your soul's nagging at you and saying this is not where I want to be, then do a little digging in that darker side and change those parts of you that keep you where you don't want to be, because that's pushing you closer to that highest soul's path. That way that you can be elevated in this ascension path and steadily going up this, star climbing ladder here, just like this snake, but except for you don't want to be all strung out down here to the bottom like you are now, still at the top. You need to have all of you at this very top, so you can sit there and observe and not have to keep going like a slinky up and down, up and down, up and down, or like a pressure gauge, because eventually it's going to blow, like a turkey's top. With the sage being the one that is intellectual and balanced and sitting back, then you have this fearless warrior that's courageous and bold, that's not afraid to take action and lead. Because between the warrior and the sage is a survivor. This is God's chosen one. This is an earth angel. This is one of the 144. This is what my guides are telling me is a Benohelium gem, which is the 144,000. So that's the chosen ones. This is, they say, one of the top ones. You got your precious gems, your most precious gem, then your semi-precious gems. It's kind of like your stones on the earth. And there's an order to this, and I'm saying this is high ranking, very high ranking. It's like Michael Jackson's song, The Man in the Mirror. So now that we've defined this sage, what timeline is this sage on at this very moment? This warrior, this chosen one. I'm possible. They're now knowing that what felt impossible is possible. With those strategies, they've come up with the perfect plan. 18 could have something to do with this. could be on the September 18th they come up with their plan, but yeah, they seen it eye to eye on September 23rd. They knew exactly what game they would be playing with that chess. This is the third card of strategy with I'm possible, because they made the right moves. This sage, this person knows what they're doing now. They have a path and a plan. They're coming in contact with their soul's tribe, and everything's coming together. Yeah, easy does it. Like I said, there's a plan. Up the ladder they go to pull all themselves up and ride on this plan. With too many hats, this person may be able to wear a lot of hats, you know, kind of like jack of all trades, but this person masters some, so they got a lot of hats, because they can be the conductor, they could be the bus driver, they could be the bellhop, they can be the servant, they can be the master alchemist, they can be the sage, they can be the warrior, they can be the survivor, they can be the fatalist, they can be the star climber. It doesn't matter what you want, because they've got their hand in all kinds of hats. This is a magician right here. This is somebody that's perfected alchemy and manifested it out by perseverance, okay? Yeah, no strings attached either. They seen what was unhealthy and started cutting threads. This person could be 36. They could have started this in 2017, worked on to it through 2018, and now here in 2023, they have figured out exactly their path with no strings attached. They could have done this when they were 35, or could be 35, or their birthday could be March 5th, May 5th. But this person is still young and feels like now that they've done all this work, you know, even though their soul's not forever young, this person still looks very young. They've been through a lot, though. You wouldn't even suspect it. Death doesn't scare them. Matter of fact, they walk along with death. Yeah, the road less traveled. Like I said, they walk along with death. And they have their ducks in a row as a confirmation. This person could have dark curly hair. They could like feathers. They could like ducks. They could like blue. Everything's in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something to do with the number 33. So we have a lot of odd numbers out here. There's 2 even numbers on the board, and the rest are odd. Like I said, this is definitely the road less traveled. This is one of perseverance. This is one of moving forward. This is from dirt road to paved road, from bumps and rickety wrecks, and even going up the stairs, you know, like on Ace Ventura. Blah, 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 blah. It's like riding in his ride down in the safari, okay? And he don't even give a crap. He's like, I will take you on it. You wanted to ride with me, you better buckle up, sucker. And if you buckle up, you're probably going to be less safe than you are if you're able to jump out, maybe. So this is somebody who foreseen the lotus in a dream. Yeah, and mastered their own destiny. And now their life's a party. They are the life of the party, but their life is a party because they've got the keys. They got the keys to someone's heart. They've got the keys to the knowledge. They're golden. They're just golden. That's what fell on the floor and what I picked up. They only need 2 eyes, and that's their third eye on one of their eyes. They ain't even worried about that other one. They got it covered up. They ain't even speaking much anymore. They're just watching all of their rewards just fall right in front of them. Yeah, and there's a lot of people pretty pissed. The people that they cut off, because this landed on no strings attached. Yeah, the wallflowers, the people that just wanted to sit back and just gain from this person, probably been doing it since they were 22, but never really wanted, yeah, it's bittersweet. They never really wanted to try to help push this forward person towards growth. They just wanted to benefit off of them. So that's ended. Strings are cut. This is expansion. That's bittersweet for somebody. So now that we see that this sage has done exactly like we knew he would. He started out somebody that felt like a mere demon in his own reflection, somebody he didn't even recognize anymore, to pulling out all of his gifts out of his hat. to the point that he don't even recognize himself. He did so much soul searching and so much elevating. She or he, don't let that confuse you or take you away from it. It's just because I'm looking at a picture of a he when I say it, or she at the moment. But this is somebody who really went into the black and white of their soul and was like, okay, from lifetime to lifetime, I've been a hothead. I've had strings attached. I didn't see eye to eye with people, and I felt impossible going down the same road everybody does. Easy does it. Let's go 45, 35. Who cares? There's so many cones on the road with all these hats. We have to be cautious. Me. But no, this is somebody that said, no, we ain't got to do it like that. I see a path over here. With these chess moves, they made a path. And guess what? They sitting over there. They the king and queen now. While the rest of the people over here still going around in cones. Tell me, we got to do it like this. This is the way it says to do it. Whoever said it's got to be done like this at this pace right here, because that's what's best for us. But they didn't even know you when they come up with that plan. That was for whoever would pay attention. Yeah, whoever wanted to be a victim to their demise, because clearly it shows that there was more than one path to do it with perception, you know. Gossip pushed this person into a state of vanity, you know, feeling like they were less than other people, and they needed their ego to be built up. This gossip was building their ego. Somebody that wears glasses with red hair, somebody that wears glasses with dark hair really love to gossip with somebody that is older, maybe their mother. She likes to wear green sometimes. One of them likes to wear nude colors. The other one really likes blue. But here's the thing, they like to sit outside the house as she's been masterminding up, painting all these pictures that she's gossiping about. She's really loving to tell these two girls about it, but even though they don't look thrilled about it, they still come to do it and listen because of that vanity thing. They know not to bust her ego, not to... Yeah, she's very impatient and likes to throw up blocks in their life. So even though they're impatient, they have to sit there and listen to this facade and these gossips that this quest has led them on, because maybe this is their mother or their grandmother, but she's all about herself, not really anything else. And so this person... In the past, this sage suffered from rejection that made him a victim. Show me about this perception. Yeah, and that kept their true self and their soul dissipating to a place that their ego was all that was left, while their soul was fading away with this completion and a grave, because that's where they were headed. There was gossip and talk about this bittersweet block that had been built by this rejection, but nobody was really worried about it. This sage had to go inside themselves and really get to looking. Even though they felt impatient, they still had to dig a little deeper. In isolation, they found their creation. Sorry about that. I had to check the time. I'm supposed to be going to class here in a minute, so I had to make sure that we weren't late. But this suit's empty, because this is probably who they wanted him to be. Maybe who he felt like he had to be. He got out of that path, got out of that person, or she got out of that suit. Decided that she'd sit down a little bit beside it for a second. And create the best thing they could have created. Through grief, there was growth. With the grief and growth, their heart chakra, where it was once shut down, has started to open back up. These roots are starting to rip the walls down that were deeply seated inside this ground that was put up with this impetus here, these blocks. It had nowhere else to go. There was a discovery after this growth and a recovery of the keys, the soul, the self-love, of the mysticism, of their true highest self, that sage. That was the discovery, and it brought them joy. They figured out who they really were, and it was a miracle to them that they, through balance, have found joy and passion, through forgiveness. They found perfection, and it was their instinct that drove them right to this soulmate. But the soulmate was themselves, finding their true selves, and through that, they are going to find their soulmate. Through wisdom, they've been praying every day for renewal of their truest, highest soulmate, which is their destiny. As you can see, maybe, they could have something to do with the yin and the yang. It's come up several times, black and white here. It's obvious to them who the soulmate is, who this high-level soulmate is, this discovery, It feels like they're all the way across the world, though, and it gives them insecurities because they can't be of service to have balance with this person, and they feel like this enlightenment is bringing them to become a workaholic because they're not for sure what to do about it, and they feel like it could be a trick, like somebody's tricking them into thinking that this expansion with the confusion card on the floor with trickery. Like I said, somebody's confusing them about this expansion, telling them to release this because of self-worth and faith, their destiny. They'll have their destiny, and it has nothing to do with this person, but it goes back to that rejection. They're afraid that they would be rejected, and somebody's telling them that the idea of this just needs to be rejected. So they're trying to get them to fall back into their old survival skills, their survivor ways, which is heightened survival skills, which is alone, with nobody to have your back, with your back up against the wall. And that is heightened senses, but that's also for me and me alone, because if I don't, I could die. It's a jungle out here, baby. Have you ever been in it? Because there's people living out there just like they are in a lion pride, and that's how this man felt when he was alone, no dog, that he got over here with this grief. He had picked up the dog, and this little grief card right here, you can see why he was grieving. This dog helped push him through it as a familiar, as a guardian in this realm and others. They helped retrieve this man from the darkness, the deepest, darkest shadows that he put up in his own block of this impulse, this wall, this creation, this little bitty box that this man wanted to stay stuck in. Just like they put you in prison, they dumb you down. They don't let you have that knowledge that's outside this box. And then when you actually come out, you didn't have the true blockage that's in the world from all these other energies. You've been alone in this box, and you realized that the divine actually preserved you, and now you're like a sponge. If you can just get to the right place, you could elevate high above the rest, because there's something you know that they don't know, and that's the ways of the sage. That's how you become the sage. Maybe this person was locked up before, or maybe they just went into their own real box. But either way, this is somebody who's got lots of squares on the palm of their hand, where they have spent lots of lifetimes and lifetimes being around many people and still all alone. The sage is full of wisdom, because the four walls do talk after a while. You know what? Your guides will come through them. When there's nothing else there, no light, no sound, no nothing, you figure it out. 21 days, you figure it out real good. So this is somebody who is now an emperor from a knight. This is somebody who has learned the lessons of every king in the deck: mind, body, soul, and spirit. I'm proud to see that this person now has elevated so much that they can play the real game, and that was the game of discovery, not the game of life. The game of discovery of self and self's path. That path that takes you right where you wanted to be, to your highest elevation in this lifetime. So chosen ones keep doing the good work. Spiritual warriors, woo! Lessons completed. Somebody passed through the portal with all lessons at a go. Somebody's tilted their scales and now they balanced their karma to Dharma. They have now elevated to a new self, a new dimension, a new way of thinking. They don't even recognize their self. Their self has amnesia when it comes to the past. The past is a thing that would never last, and it's a thing to stay in the bag. This person is done with it. It's over, and they cannot wait to keep pushing forward. A matter of fact, when people bring up the past, they have to sit and think about what they're talking about because it's really just healed that much. It was just that lesson. And now that their true self is shining, they cannot wait to get out there. They're like, put me in the game, coach, with these blueprints. They could be a player of some sport or they could be a house builder. But either way, they know the blueprint and the way to get there. Maybe they've been playing games. Who knows? Either way, have a good day.